What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center. This video is the part 2 to the Universal Year 9 video, obviously, the part 2. So there's obviously a part 1. But yeah, this is the second half of the first video. If you haven't seen that, obviously highly recommended for you to start there. I will have the link for the first video in the description of this and all of that. So basically, we're picking right up where we left off, or where I should say I left off in the first video. And so we're moving into, or we are now not moving into anymore. We're currently in the year 2025. We've just stepped foot into the new year. And 2025 in numerology is all based on the number 9. And the number 9 is all about endings. It's the completion of a cycle. It would be, similar to the world card in tarot. It's wrapping things up. It's, leaving behind or releasing what's no longer serving you. It's taking inventory of the last full 9 years of your life and just kind of looking back and kind of, almost like doing like a reflection or an evaluation, taking audit of your life and looking, one, how far you've come, and hopefully, two, how far you've grown. What have you learned? What has changed? What's different? What hasn't been working? And where are you currently now? Where would you like to be by the end of this year, right? How are you stepping foot into this year? Are you stepping into the year feeling alive? Are you thriving? Are you excited about the possibilities and opportunities of things to come? Or are you barely, crawling your way into the new year because, your life's a mess and things are, you're just kind of barely hanging on. So, depending on who you are and where you are, this year, obviously, the potential for what can happen in this year this year will set the tone for the energy of this year, will set the tone for kind of the conditions of your life where you are now, and obviously what you decide moving forward. So, like I said in the first video, this card, the Between Worlds card here, is kind of like the best way to describe the energy. It's where it's like, this side of the card represents where we've been in the last 9 years. It's the past. We can't go back there. And this side of the card would represent, the possibilities of where we can go, the direction we can move forward in, regardless of your current situation and circumstances, right? So whether you're doing great in life, there will be opportunities for you to do even better. If life's not happening so well, then you're basically at a fork in the road. This is an opportunity for you to undergo the lessons of transformation of why or what brought you to this point, and why, are you at rock bottom in your life? And, basically, do you want more of that? Do you want to stay at rock bottom? Do you want to remain in that dark place or defeated place? Or do you want to climb out of the hole, so to speak, right? So, again, those choices will be yours. And so depending on your level of intentionality, spiritual growth, spiritual awareness, and how seriously you take those things will obviously determine the fulfillment and the outcome that you get in your life going forward. So one other thing I want to mention before we dive into the reading is also, and I mentioned this in the first video, if your personal year number is 9, and because we're in a universal year of 9, the universal year, again, affects everybody. Your personal year number is individual to you. So, you would have to go and look that up to figure out what that is. And there's lots of ways you can look that up. There's apps. There's all kinds of things. You can even just Google how to look up my personal year number in numerology, and you can just use your calculator on your phone. It's very simple math. Nothing crazy. And so if your personal year number is 9, because it's a 9 universal year, when those two match, it's like a double whammy. It's a supercharged energy. You get a double hit of that energy. So that means if you're doing good, you're on the good side of the energy, you'll get a double dose of opportunities, abundance, things going well for you. Things are not going so well for you, and you continue on that path, then you're going to continue to get a double dose of not so well good things going for you. I know I said that all weird, but nevertheless, that will be the reality for you. Okay. So I'm going to switch over here. And I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm going to leave the link in the description box for you guys. You can go check it out yourself. But this is a really, really great website. It's called creativenumerology.com. The author of this website, Christine Delory, she's phenomenal with numerology. And I'm just going to kind of, just going to read a few of these paragraphs here. Not the whole thing. If you want to read the whole thing, I recommend reading the whole thing. Definitely recommend reading the whole thing, but you don't have to. But just to give us a quick little, overview again, a recap. So the 9-year is an end of an era, going back to claim your future. So what we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. So the 9-year brings you to the end of a complete 9-year cycle of your life. It is a year to complete unfinished business, reach conclusions, and tie up loose ends. These actions will help you step into the next 9 years of your life without the pressure without the pressure of unresolved matters of past pulling you back. As one door closes, another opens, but if you refuse to accept that certain doors really have closed, you will be unable to recognize the new possibilities. Yeah, we can't, like I said here with this card, we can't be 1 foot back here or looking back here, constantly trying to, go back in time or staring back into the past and, progress forward. It just doesn't work that way, right? I mean, it sounds like, yeah, duh, Eddie, like common sense, but for so many people, it's not very common because most people in my experience, and I've been guilty of this myself, is that we have a tendency to hold on and look at the past and focus there. And there's a psychological reason that we do this as well. It's a pattern of human behavior. So the 9-year helps you to face the absolute reality of your past and how it is impacting your present, and then decide how you want to create your future. Your reality is not just a matter of where you stand today or where you want to be tomorrow. It is made up of everything that has ever happened to you, everyone you have ever met, and anything you have ever done, and any feeling you have ever felt or denied. Where you stand today is the result of where you have been, but before you can progress, you must release yourself emotionally, mentally, or physically from those aspects which no longer serve a purpose and are chaining you to a point in time that no longer exists. It is time to integrate your past with the present so that the potential of your future can be seen and felt. This is achieved by accepting the past exactly as it is and by feeling everything about it that you have been unable to feel. Now, this is very, very important. This sentence right here is very important because one of the reasons that we have so much difficulty in releasing the past is because people don't want to feel. People don't want to feel the discomfort. They don't want to experience the emotion of feeling things that are uncomfortable for them to gain the closure or to allow the lessons that those emotions and experiences would teach them if they stop denying them. That's essentially what the concept of denial means. To be in denial of something is basically just meaning to be in denial of the truth. What sets us free? The truth is what sets us free. So we can't live in denial and have the truth. You can't have it both ways, right? So in order to experience truth, you have to be open to the feeling of whatever, the feeling and the experience of truth moving through you. You can't be in denial for that in order to have that experience. And so many people wonder why they're stuck, why things aren't changing, and their life seems like this spontaneous, blender of a shit show mess that just like one day, it's just all random. You never know what's going to happen kind of thing. It's like, well, it's not really random. It feels random to you because when you're not in control of your reality, then it feels like your reality is out of control. And so when reality is out of control, it feels random. You just don't like, well, today, am I going to get shocked, zapped? Is more pain, suffering, and more disappointment, more bad news coming my way? Or, am I going to be left alone? Like, I'm just like, hey, just don't hurt me, or am I actually going to get a good news? Like, am I actually going to have a breakthrough? I'm going to meet somebody? Am I going to get, the thing or whatever? Well, not when we're being a powerless person, which I'm going to talk about in just another second here. So the 9 year brings significant transformation, alterations, and improvements to all areas of life, even though you may not immediately see the positive merits of certain situations. When the old buried emotions, when the old buried emotion that is weighing you down is released, life suddenly becomes a lighter experience and is more easily understood and enjoyable. Yeah, because a lot of times, a lot of the pressure that people are experiencing is all the built up feelings and emotions that they've been in denial about. And all of a sudden you let that shit out. And it's like, when you have to pee real bad, that's literally what it feels like. It's like your bladder hurts so bad. You've been holding it, like on a really long drive or a long flight or just, whatever, you're in the car, maybe you're stuck in traffic and man, I really have to pee. And then by the time you get to the place where you can finally go to the bathroom, it's like it hurts to walk because your bladder is so full. And then, you pee and it's like, oh my God, it's like the relief that you feel, right? Well, that's essentially the same thing when you release emotions. That's why, again, we have to feel to heal. And there's a reason I'm sharing all this with you because you're like, what does this have to do with anything? It's everything to do with everything. Because some people, the very reason that you're stuck in life is because you're like a clenched hard ball, like a rock. You're not letting anything out, but you're also not letting anything in. And so, that's going to have a negative effect on your life. So if you feel a sense of numbness or stagnation, it is because you are so close to accepting your full reality, but are holding the emotions involved in instead of expressing them out. Energy is meant to expand, create, grow, flow, go. Energy is always expanding, expansion. Infinite expansion. Contraction is the opposite, right? Energy doesn't like to contract. It doesn't want to contract. It wants to expand. So we want to be in a state of expansion, which is a state of allowing, especially emotionally. We think emotions are just emotions. It's like, oh, it's just feelings, it's just emotions. And maybe when you were growing up, you were taught that was bad, or you were punished for it, or you were invalidated for it, whatever, right? No, emotions are not just feelings and emotions. They're actual things, just like your thoughts are actual things. It's energy. And all forms of energy affect other forms of energy. And since everything is energy, that means that your thoughts, just like your emotions, and your emotions, just like your thoughts, are affecting your reality. That's also why the Heart Math Institute in California is literally scientifically studying this. So this isn't just airy-fairy woo-woo bullshit. This is science. Like science is literally proving this now. Like when we align our head and our heart through a process called heart-brain coherence, again, the Heart Math Institute, science-based research institute, they have found that a lot of the things that we call miracles, the impossible miracles, people who've been able to reverse, disease, cancer, incurable diseases, reverse all kinds of things and perform other types of miracles, have come from the ability to unify and align the frequencies of the heart and the brain, to bring the heart and the brain together. And I'm just sharing this as an example to you all so that you realize that when I'm saying it's very important to learn how to heal, to learn how to feel so you can heal, to not devalue or underestimate the potency of the things that I'm sharing. And just assume that if I'm sharing something here on my channel, it's not just because I've got nothing better to do and I'm bored and I'm just throwing out random bullshit to you. That's not what I do on my channel. Anything that I bring to this table is something that is relevant to somebody. Because again, when I show up here, I step aside. This isn't Eddie's hobby YouTube channel. Like, hey, come. I'm just here talking about the things that I like, the things that I'm into. It's like, this is a hobby channel where I'm over here playing with my micro machines or something. Like, hey, if you like micro machines too, come in here. Like, that's not what this is. This isn't me here just to toot my horn because I got nothing better to do, and I'm just out here to, because I'm bored and you guys might be into the same thing as I am. right? That's not what this is about. This is about informing you of something that will activate a part of you that has been deactivated or has been suppressed or has not been plugged into your power source, right? This is why on my channel, I'm always talking about being a powerful person, not being powerless. This is why. This is the importance of being a powerful person. We have to understand what it means to be a powerful person and take that power and utilize that power to get our freedom, to grow, to expand, and ultimately to have the fulfilling life that we desire. So people who refuse to accept the past spend their lives rehashing the same old situations, making the same old mistakes, unable to accept new realities, and dissatisfied with everything. They justify their unsatisfactory existence by blaming others, blaming time, blaming life itself, and blaming themselves. Yeah, my life sucks. My life sucks, but I'm not doing anything about it, so woe is me. Woe is me, my life sucks, but I'm not doing anything about it. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't whine, cry, and complain about your life sucks when you're the one who has the power to change it. And when you have the power to change it and you recognize you have the power to change it, I'm not saying this to sound like an insensitive asshole because I've been in this powerless place before. I used to be the blame guy, the victim guy, woe is me. Why does my life suck? Why does this keep happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. Powerless. Whoa, little powerless Eddie. Until I woke the fuck up and I realized it doesn't work that way. I was taught to believe that the system worked that way. Oh, yeah, no, life is just, you have to just take what's served. Whatever is served to you, you just got to take it and like it. Just roll with the punches. Do what you got, it is what it is. Well, no, it is what you make it. It is how you create it. That's you as the magician energy. You are creating your reality. And so if you don't like the reality that you're experiencing, it's time to change it. And the way that you change it isn't by trying to change the external circumstances of shit going on out here. You got to change the you. And when you change the you inside of you, then the things out here will reflect the new you that you become in here. Right? So some people claim to be, I think that's it. Yeah, that's as far as I wanted to go. Yeah, so you can continue reading that. That was as far as I wanted to go on this. So you can see this article continues on. I mean, it's not too much longer, but I don't know. There's still a few paragraphs there, but you can get on again, creativenumerology.com. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can follow that, and you can come back and you can read this, and so you can come back and refer to it later. Now, the next thing I want to talk about just really quick because I forgot is to not forget, for those of you that are interested, my friend and I, Trudy, will be opening up the Conscious Collective group. I'm going to push it back just a little bit. We're going to start right either at the end of the month, because of what I realized is that even though it's only, for now, it's only $20 to get a lifetime membership, and it will go up. I do realize that it's still right after the holidays, and $20 right after the holidays, and all the things that are going on can still be a lot. So I'm going to push the launch back to the end of the month, maybe the 1st of February, so that, give people more time to, to worry about their finances and all of that. Even though it's $20 can be a lot for some people. So I'm going to, just delaying it a little bit longer. A couple weeks gives people some time, and then we'll be opening the group up, officially launching the group. I would say at the end of January, the very, very, very beginning of February. Now, if you're interested, there's a link in the description box for that video as well. I gave a whole presentation, what the group is about, what it's not about, how you can join, why you should join, and what the benefits are going to be for you, especially considering the teeny tiny fraction of investment to join. What else? And if you have any questions or you're not sure, and the presentation or the video of the presentation that I give doesn't, it's not enough information for you, then reach out to me. My email is imagine@dreamoutloud.center. That information is in the description as well. And just write me an email and say, hey, I'm interested in the group. I have some questions. I will personally answer your questions. I will write you back. However we need to get your questions answered, I will answer your questions. All right, so there's that. Second thing, before we get into the reading here. Now, I'm going to harp on this and from now moving forward until, I don't know, until this channel is either going to, just grow, or until it's just gone and there's no point to be here anymore. This is the theme. Really, this is why I'm here. This is the theme of this channel, is you and all of us becoming powerful people. So, as we move forward in this reading, I want to, for us all to become consciously aware of what we're focused on right now. If you're distracted, do you value this information? Are you trying to change your life? Do you give a shit? Like, where are you right now? Right? Are you giving this, the level of attention that it needs, at least in the receptivity of being open to the messages that are here for you from the divine? It's not about me, right? I could care less whether you're here to hear me or not hear me. I'm just the messenger, right? So where's your focus right now? Are you focused on what you can control in your life or what you can't control? Are you looking inward to get the answers and the change and the things that you need in your life? Or are you focused completely outward? Like, well, I don't have love. Love is out there, so that's why I can't have it. Well, if you came in here and you found the love in here, then the love that was out there would come and join you. That's how this works. It's just spirituality 101. The money, it's like, well, I'm broke. I don't have any money. When you're looking for money out here, where's all the money out here that I need in scarcity, poverty mentality, whatever the struggle of reality? Well, come in here, find the abundance and the resources inside of you, and then the resources out here will come and find you. That's what opportunities are. That's just how this works. That's all manifestation is. The law of attraction. The law of attraction isn't you trying to pretend and psych yourself up, for something out here to magically appear like it's voodoo. You rub the genie in the lamp, and it pops out and like, here's your thing. That's not how it works. It requires a change of your consciousness, a change of you getting in touch with the divine inside of you. All right. And I'm not talking about religion and all that shit. I'm talking about this soul that's inside of you. There's an infinite intelligence inside of you that's waiting for you to have a connection with it, an intimate connection with it, an ever progressive, intimate, like you would if you were married to somebody, right? You don't just get married and then like, oh, well, now I'm married. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm not going to see you anymore. I'm going to spend time with you anymore. Like we're just going to ignore each other and never have anything to do with each other. And a lot of people do. And that's why they end up, divorced or estranged or, sleeping in separate bedrooms, and they're not even roommates with benefits anymore. They're just two people living under the same roof. Right. But that's where most people start in their spirituality. It's just your soul, your higher self's in here, and you're living in the ego up here. And so it's like two consciousnesses living under the same roof, where the spiritual journey is about you using your free will to turn inward to go connect with that deep, profound part of you, right? And so all the questions here, I need what? I crave what? I want what? I desire what? Well, again, where are you focused on getting those things? Powerless people focus on the external world only. I'm just trying to find it out here, or crossing my fingers, hoping that it'll come find me in 2025. Maybe this will be my year. Probably not. Not from the position of powerlessness. Definitely not. Now, if you're being a powerful person, you're going within. It's like, all right, I crave romance. I need money. I want love. I desire, fulfillment. Well, you go within yourself, you connect to the divine inside of you, and you have a conversation, a connection, a relationship with the divine inside of you. The divine will assist you, bring about, or, co-create with you. There's all kinds of ways that the merging of you and the divine coming together creates these opportunities, the reality, or attracts these things to you, and it just is what it is, right? And you can just follow anybody that you've known or that you've ever heard about who's done this stuff before. Like, pick your person, pick your person out there who's manifested their dream life, who's done these things. Is like, well, how did you do it? Like, well, I went inside. I got the answers. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to shift out of that now, and we're going to come here into the reading. So let me get this card back here. So I don't have a clue what's going to come out here, but basically the purpose of this reading is for us to go back to the original, the first video, the part 1, where I said there was 2 groups of people that were coming into 2025. I said that there are those who've answered the call, and they're like, you know what? I'm answering the call. I'm going forward in 2025. I'm not looking back. I'm going to go after my destiny and my path in life, my spiritual destiny, my mission, the true meaning and purpose of why I came here. And, I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like. I'm not sure the how. There could be lots of uncertainty involved in that. Some of you might have a lot of certainty. I don't know. I don't know where you are in your journey, but you don't care. You've made a decision. Come hell or high water, you're moving forward on your divine destiny. That's group 1. Group 2 are those of you who kind of, here you are in 2025, and maybe life has not been going so well for you. You're unhappy, you're unfulfilled, life sucks. You could be at rock bottom, and your life might just be a shit show. And there's levels of this. From a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is it's not too bad, but it could be better. 10 is like I'm literally, I've lost everything. It's a dark night of the soul. I don't even know what the point of life is anymore. Right? So you could be on anywhere between 1 and 10 on the scale of extremes. But regardless, if you're in that group, you have 2 decisions to make. The first decision is, or 2 decisions. I said there's 2 calls for you. The first call is the call to come within and get connected to the divine inside of you, so that you can basically start to become that powerful person, right? That's really what this is. So if you answer the call and you go within, then call number 2 happens, which is you've answered call number 1, which is, hey, there's something calling out to me from inside of me to come in here, and learn some things, become enlightened, become awakened to what's really, to who I really am and to how life really works. And then the second call is, now that I have that awareness, now that I have that awakening and that perception, is to come out here in the world and to choose to get on my path or not. And we have free will at every step of the stage. Every stage of the game, we have free will, a decision to make. So just because you answer the first call to go within to find out, who you are and why you're here, doesn't mean you have to answer the call and then say, hey, now I'm going to take the courageous step to actually go answer the call and run out into life and get on my spiritual path, my spiritual mission, my destiny. It's up to you. You don't have to choose it, right? So group 2, you got two options really this year. It's either pain and suffering, or wherever you've been stuck, things aren't growing great for you, and you can stay there and you can camp out there. And this year's going to beat the crap out of you. I talked all about this in the first video. And if you're 9, if you have a 9 personal year, in addition to the fact that it's a 9 universal year, not only are you going to get the crap kicked out of you, you're going to get it twofold. You get a double dose of getting the crap kicked out of you. I don't make the rules. It just is what it is. So, if you're like, hey, you like that kind of thing, you like getting the crap kicked out of you by life again and again and again and again. You like, just having life, your life blown up, then, okay, I guess, that's a choice too. So others of you, you're like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't want my life to suck anymore. I want to do something about it. Well, there will be an opportunity for transformation here, right? And the opportunity for transformation that you have is to answer the call, to go within, let the divine assist you in you figuring out who you are, why you're here, and to bring the broken parts of your life back together in the way that they were meant to be all along, because essentially the only reason why your life is basically got disrupted and destroyed is because you were so far off the path that it wasn't even your life anymore. So the life that was destroyed was never even your life. It's the life that you thought, because you were living in the illusion. You were living in the matrix. You were believing a lie. You were hypnotized. You were too much devil energy. Who knows what? There's all kinds of reasons that you could have decided to go off in a direction so far off into another direction that the universe was like, look, at this point, like we just have to intervene. And it's actually, it may feel cruel when you're going through it, but it's actually the most loving thing that the divine can do is stop you dead in your tracks from going even to a worse place, right? So, we don't always see it that way in the ashes or the rubble of the destruction, the wake of the destruction of wherever happens in our lives. But I guarantee you, when you answer the call and as you start to move forward from the ashes and not sit in the ashes, you'll look behind you and you go, my God, I am so glad that happened to me. And I've had that experience many times in my life. And I can promise you, and I can tell you as somebody who's gone through a lot of shit, I can tell you this. I look back behind everything that's ever happened to me and I go, man, I'm so glad that's happened to me and I would never change it. I wouldn't change one bad thing that's ever happened to me. Not one. Because of who I've become. But I only have that realization and that knowledge because I answered the call. All right? So, what are the messages for the collective? In moving forward, kickstarting this energy. So this is basically how, essentially this reading is going to be about what you guys can do to maximize your forward momentum. Like how to start this, like how to hit the ground running, not just kind of floating into 2025. Like, well, what's going to happen? What am I going to do? Like it's like, give us clarity, give us insight. When I'm saying I'm referring to the divine, asking the divine to give us the messages, the knowledge, the insights of what we need to know. The group of us here that truly crave and desire this is how we need to start. This is what we need to release. This is, help us to really shoot forward with momentum and start to get progress under our feet as quickly as possible. Because that's really what the divine wants. The divine wants us to make strides. The divine wants us to lay hold of the things that we're after to create our fulfillment and our destiny. It doesn't want us to waste time. That makes no sense, right? I'm not saying that there aren't moments in life where we need to slow down. We need to just enjoy what's in front of us. But life is here to be lived, not just waiting around hoping for experiences that are worth living for. All right, so the first card out, we have all that glitters is not gold. Yeah, there's all kind of energy coming up. That's like that card right there. That card right there is a 3-hour rant wanting to come through me. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have to consolidate it. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, yeah. This is a great way to start this reading. I like this. I like this already. And keep in mind that even though I'm the messenger, this reading is as much for me as it is for you all. So, we could just pretend that I'm doing an off-camera, an offline reading that I'm just doing for myself. Like if I'm just sitting here in my room by myself and I'm like, what does the divine want me to know? We could just pretend it's that, because this message is just as much for me as it would be for those that resonates with you all. So I'm learning something. I'm being enlightened just the same that you guys are, even though I'm the messenger. So let's start here with all that glitters. I'm just gonna, as I feel led, I will grab other decks. But for now, I'm going to go through the energy that's on the table here with these cards. So right out of the gate, we have this all that glitters. Now, there's like hundreds, maybe potentially hundreds of different scenarios that want to come through that card. It's basically, this card just represents all the shit that's gone on in your life the last 9 years. For some of you, it represents all the shit that a lot of you have gone through your entire life. But for sure, the last 9 years, because again, this is the 9th year. We're starting the last year. We are just beginning the last year of this final cycle. Because in 2026, we'll be going into a universal year of 1, a brand new 9-year cycle. So this is the closeout. 2025 is the closeout. So coming into this reading, this is like all the baggage, all the shit that looked like it was treasure and gold. And we all had some of that, haven't we? There were what was the shit in life that at first, when you sought out and you saw it, it came to you, or you started to experience it, you got a taste of it, whatever that thing is in your life. At first, you thought it was the thing that you wanted, you needed, you couldn't live without it. Was it a relationship? Was it a job? Was it, an experience? Was it a feeling? Was it a sensation? Was it an item? And it could be all of the above. Lots can happen in 9 years. But for some of you, there were very specific things, people, places, situations, work, whatever, very specific things that you thought was your fulfillment. You thought that if you could have that thing, if you could get this relationship, if you could just work things out with this person, if you could fall in love or you could have that house, or if you could just get this certain amount of money and have this certain type of income, if you could just get this, whatever that thing is for you, in your mind, you thought that thing was going to make you happy. It was the fulfillment that you sought. It looked like gold. In your eyes, it looked like treasure. It looked like gold. But then, as you laid hold of it, as you acquired it, as you interacted with it, as you related with it, you experienced it, you realized it was a big pile of shit. And again, there's extremes to this. It could have been just like, this kind of sucks. Like level 1 out of 10 scale. 1, it's not very much. It's like, this was kind of shitty, disappointing, whatever. All the way up to 10, like, this blew my life up. This destroyed my life. This completely destroyed my entire life. Again, toxic relationship, toxic job, a really bad decision maybe that you made, consequence for a really bad decision that you made. Who knows? Right? Sometimes people's goal is they think they're going to get away with something. Being dishonest. Like, I'm going to get away with this. I'm going to be able to cheat the system. I'm going to be able to cheat the divine. Sometimes it's not the things that we do that are being done to us. Sometimes it's the thing that we're doing. If you're the cheater, and we all reverse roles at some point in our life, right? Sometimes in life, we're the good guy or the good girl. And then other times in life, we're the bad guy, we're the bad girl. Sometimes we're the saint, sometimes we're the villain. We've all been, we're all guilty. We've all sinned. We've all fallen short of the glory of God. That's the concept. So it's not judgmental. It's just, are you being honest with the fact that, hey, if you're in your villain season of life, then you have to understand that whatever it is that you think that you're going to get by being the villain, by being manipulative, destructive, lying, all that devil energy shit, or just being a powerless person in general, there's something you think you're going to get from that. You may not be consciously aware of what it is, but nevertheless, it's here, and it's all represented in the energy that's attached to this card, right? So, but it doesn't matter, because again, it doesn't matter what situation, what circumstance. Because again, I literally could go on. If I was to go into all the intricate details of just this one card, we'd be here for 3 hours. That's how much energy or how much shit. Gold spray, it's like a big, huge pile of shit. Because it's not just mine, it's yours and everybody else's. It's the collective. So here's the collective pile of shit, and somebody spray painted it gold spray paint on a big pile of shit. And then they got really crafty here, and they're like, let's just get some little fancy masks and just like a cake, and we're just top the big pile of shit here with these two little masks. And they did a really good job, and they made it look like, they shaped it. It's, it looks like a cake there, and it's like, oh wow, from far away you look at that and you're like, man, is that a cake or something? Like, they really did a good job over there. So you kind of get curious, and as you get close to it, you're like, something doesn't smell right. Then you get really close to it and you start looking at it and you're like, this smells terrible. Why does this smell like shit? And you start looking at it and you start expecting it. And then all of a sudden you realize it finally hits you. Somebody took a huge pile of shit and spray painted it gold and made it look like a cake and put two little masks on the top of it. Right? It's that moment of realization in your life where you realized that the thing that you thought was treasure was actually just a big old pile of shit. Now, the beauty of that, again, because we're talking about all this relates to understanding the 9 universal year that we're in, releasing, letting go, everything that I read at the beginning, everything I've been talking about, transformation, letting go of the old to pave way for the new. This essentially is saying, hey, look, the next card is a change in the wind. Well, the change in the wind, first of all, it's like, well, when you're spelling, the smell of shit, is so gross, it's so profound you can't breathe. A change in the wind is kind of nice. You're like, my God, I can breathe. It's blowing the shit smell out away. You know what I mean? Well, the change in the wind is up to us. It's like, you can hold on to your shit if you want to. That's the universe. Like, if you want to hold on to your shit in 2025, you have free will. And I've mentioned this all the time on this channel. The divine has 2 non-negotiables that it will not violate. It will not violate your free will, nor will it give you anything that's not in your highest good. So don't ask. Don't ask the divine to help you get that relationship that you want. And it's like, no, but that person's toxic. They're not good for you. But, oh, but I want him. If they're not in your highest good, you're not going to have them. I mean, you can go pursue it using your own free will, but the divine's not going to, the divine's like, hey, that's yours to do. That's your deal. I'm staying out of it. The divine will not involve itself in anything that's not in your highest good. Doesn't matter what it is in your life. Those are the 2 non-negotiables. So the divine is saying, hey, I'm here to help you make this change and co-create with you and partner with you and help you get the momentum. That's what the yang energy is. It's masculine energy. It's the divine masculine. It's creation, action, effort. This is wand energy, like an ace of wands. Inspiration, action, motivation, going for it, doing it, getting the result, using your power, your energy to create, right? Using all the power inside of you, the energy inside of you to go out and create the fulfillment that you desire, right? But as long as you choose or not choose, it's up to you. As long as you choose to stay focused on the shit, because you still, for some reason, despite how stinky it is, some of you out there are like, but hold on, but no, it's not, but they're that toxic person. I have to have them. I just know I have to have the toxic person or that toxic ex that, or whatever, that toxic job, that toxic anything, that addiction you won't give up, that thing that you won't do. And it's like, no, but I just have to hold on to it. I just got to keep doing it. But it's no, I can't give it up. And you're just playing powerless victim. You're just, steeping, going even further into your powerlessness. And you can do it. And you can sit here all day long as you want, and you can look at the pile of shit that's painted gold that's not going to serve you, and you can swim in this gold, spray painted gold pile of shit if you want to, as long as you want. And the result of that will leave you exactly where you are, or it will take you even further down. So, and I'm not here, I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to blow smoke and fairy unicorn rainbows up your ass. I'm here to tell you the truth. And sometimes we just need the truth, because the truth is what sets us free. And that's how it is on my channel. I don't want people to stay stuck. I know what it's like to be in that energy and that feeling myself. But thankfully I've learned enough the hard way that when you touch the hot stove and you burn your hand, I'm not touching the hot stove again. I don't need to learn that lesson again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And some of you guys out there, some of you stubborn mofos, and you know who you are, you real stubborn ones. It's like, I don't know, you're just like a masochist, you just like the pain or what the deal is, but some of you real stubborn ones are like, I'm going to touch it again and again and again and again and again and again. And every time you get burned, every time your life blows up and you're like, why do it keep happening to me? Really, dude? What do you mean, why does it keep happening to you? How many times you going to touch the damn stove and know you're going to get burned? How many times you going to go back to that guy, to that girl, and know you're going to get burned? How many times you going to do the same damn thing, expect a different fucking result? Come on, guys, come on. I'm just here to be the messenger. So for some of you guys, you stubborn ones, the results you're getting in your life are just an indicator of what you're going to continue to get, or it's going to get worse for you. And I've said it, and it's a repeat message, because I can only warn you so many times that if you don't take this year seriously, it's really going to burn. Like, the stove isn't just hot anymore. It's an inferno. It's not just going to burn your hand. It's going to literally incinerate your hand. You're not going to have a hand anymore. So I'm just, to the best of my ability, trying to convey a message to you directly, but with enough sincerity to where you understand that this is not something to play around with. Not this year. Okay? And so for those of you on the other side, you're like, hey, I want the blessing. I don't want the bullshit. It's time for a change. And the change is in the wind for you. Because the universe is like, look, because I know that you're serious and that you're answering the call and you're moving forward in your life, I'm ready to kick ass and take names with you. Let's do it. So here's your hands, you meaning you out there, this is your hands. But here's the divine. The power is the divine, right? We are just the vessel. And so when the two become one, the kingdom of God is within you, as Jesus would say. That is the divine operating through you. The power, the energy, the force that comes from within you is the power of the divine working alongside you. And I gave an example of this in the part 1 video about Jesus and his disciples and feeding the 5,000. And that the miracle happened in the hands, the moment of the miracle happened in the disciples' hands. It didn't happen before. It didn't happen when Jesus blessed the food. The miracle was happening at the exact moment when they were dispersing the food. When the disciples handed food to, somebody out there, there's 5,000 of them. So, I'm sure it probably took a hot minute to feed them all, but they're handing out, distributing the food. Well, the miracle was happening right in the moment. It was in the moment that the miracle was happening. It's like, gave them food. Well, I still have some in my hand. Gave them more. Still there. Gave them more. It's still there. It's like, no matter how much food that I try to get out of my hand, it just keeps, it's like I never gave any at all. That kind of thing. And so that's essentially a metaphor here. This is the food inside of your hand. This is the miracle inside of your hand. The miracle happens in the moment. When you're co-creating with the divine this year, the miracle happens in the moment of you doing what? You taking action and you doing the work, chopping wood. This is our responsibility. The divine is going to do its job, but we have to do our job. For those of us answering the call, we have to show up. We have to show up to our destiny every day, just like showing up for work. And it's not an idea. It's not a theological thing anymore. It's not a mental thing anymore. It's not a fantasy anymore. It's not a dreamy thing anymore. It has to become reality. It has to become actionable. It has to be when you wake up every day now for the rest of your life is, I'm in my destiny. Not, I choose my destiny today. Like, I choose to go to work today. Do I want to call out today? You know, like, is it a vacation day? Is it a holiday? This isn't a career. This isn't an occupation. Your destiny is something that just, you're it. You and your destiny are one, just like you and the divine are one, because that's all your destiny is. Your destiny is just the life that you live and the things that you do while connected to your spiritual truth. You and the divine come together, and the two become one. You and the divine become one. Not that you aren't already one. That's the illusion of separation. That's free will. By our free will, we have to choose to become re-aware of being one with the divine. And as we become re-aware of something that was already true, the oneness of us coming together with the divine is destiny. That's all destiny is. And a lot of times in spirituality, you hear people talk about this concept of destiny like it's a job or an occupation, right? What do you do for a living? What's your destiny? My destiny is me. I'm my destiny. The divine inside of me is my destiny. And as I learn and I grow and I have a more intimate connection with the divine inside of me, I come out here and I bring whatever that experience is that I'm having inside of me with the divine. I just bring it out here into the world and I share it. And yes, that is a doing. We could say that is a doing of something. Gifts, talents, abilities, whatever you create, whatever you do, however you show up in the world, whatever that looks like for you. But it's not in the doing in and of itself that makes it a destiny. If you did nothing, if you literally did nothing, and this is what monks do, I'm not a monk. I think that would actually be boring, but hey, for them, I guess it's fulfilling. You go and you decide to spend your entire life essentially just just going within and having an experience with your divine self all the time. Literally. And so you just live the most bare minimum experience in the 3D world, and your whole human life is essentially just going within every day and connecting to the divine, going within, connecting to the divine, going within, connecting to the divine, and it's just you and the divine. And you don't come out here and do a whole lot with the rest of us, right? And I think that's a little bit of an extreme, but essentially those monks are fulfilling their destiny. And they're not doing, more or less, they're not doing shit out here in terms of like serving the collective or, that kind of concept. So destiny isn't something that we do. Destiny is who we become. So, it's important for some of us to really get and grasp the truth and the concept of these, half-baked, overgeneralized spiritual concepts that get thrown around, and we believe it because we don't know any better. But that's not what's true, right? Destiny is not something that you do. It's not an occupation, not your job. And you just, you just apply spirituality to it. Like, ooh, I'm going to go, become a Reiki healer. Now I'm in my destiny. Why? Because it's Reiki. You just added some spiritual thing to it. Like, what's the difference between saying you're a Reiki healer and you're a nurse, right? You're just adding the spiritual element to the Reiki healer, and now you're spiritual, whereas the nurse isn't spiritual. It's complete asinine. It's BS. The person who is connected to the divine within them, that's a nurse, who's just a nurse, not a special nurse, not a Reiki nurse, not a higher consciousness nurse, not an elevated nurse, not a spiritual nurse, not a Palladian nurse, not a unicorn nurse, not a fairy rainbow nurse, not a tarot nurse, not a Mars nurse, astrology nurse, just a regular fucking nurse. Just a nurse. An ordinary, normal nurse. She is just as spiritual, if not more spiritual, if she's connected to the divine inside of her. And she's fulfilling her destiny because she's connected to the divine inside of her. So putting a spiritual title or a spiritual ingredient or some type of spiritual thing onto an occupation or a job or a talent that you have doesn't make you spiritual, and that doesn't mean that you're fulfilling your destiny. But the hocus pocus spirituality, people out there, the general mainstream spirituality would have you believe that because, it has to fit into mainstream spirituality. There has to be a marketing, something to it that you can market. That's what mainstream means. When you hear something is mainstream, it means it's marketable, meaning money. If I can market it, it means I can make money on it. And if I can make money on it, if I can make money on it and I can market it, then it's mainstream. That's all mainstream means. It's marketable, and if it's marketable, it makes money. That's what mainstream is. So when you generalize things, you make them mainstream, they become marketable, and therefore you can make money off of them. That does not make them truly spiritual, though. In fact, a lot of times it makes it this shit. All that glitters isn't gold. All that appears to be true isn't true, right? Hence the mask. That's what the mask is showing. The mask is fake, something that's false. It's hiding something that isn't really what you think that it is. And some of you need to know that on your spiritual journey. You need to understand a lot of what true spirituality is so you can stop following all the bullshit that it isn't. Because it's power. That's more powerlessness. It's more powerlessness. Just, astrology and crystals and tarot reading, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, but what is that doing for you? Is it changing your life? Are you better for it? Is your life better for it? Are you richer? Are you happier? You got the love of your life, the dream, your dream house, your dream this, your dream that? Yes or no? And if you're not better for it, you're just crystals, necklaces, tattoos, tarot cards, and all that shit. And it's just like, yeah, I'm still basically, if I have to be honest with myself, I'm still kind of fucking miserable. Like, well, then that's not spirituality. That's a hobby. That's an interest, right? And I'm not here to sound like an asshole. I'm not here to, to judge anybody for that, but I'm here to call out the powerless shit that's no good, because that's what the universe, not me calling it out, but the universe calling it out, the divine calling it out, because it's all attached to that card. And unfortunately, I thought I was done with that energy. I thought I was moving on from it, but the divine's like, no, we got to squeeze a little bit more, poop juice out of the lemon over here, because so many people, unfortunately, are buying into the bullshit of spirituality, because spirituality is actually trending right now. More than it ever has before, spirituality is trending. And this year, it's going to trend even more, which means there's going to be even more bullshit. More people buying into even more bullshit. More false promises of manifestations and law of attractions and get your ex back and call in your soulmate and do this thing and do this blah, 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 blah. Right? There's going to be tons more of that shit. Why? Because as spirituality trends, it becomes more mainstream. Guess what that means? What did I just say? It's more marketable, means it makes more money. There's more opportunities than ever for people to make a profit, and actually spirituality, finally, for many people, it's becoming to a point now where it can be marketable. People are starting to take spirituality more serious. So now it's actually a viable market. Like, man, there's interest here, and it's an untapped interest, because not too long ago, people didn't take this shit very, very seriously. Well, it's very popular now. It's getting more popular. More people are taking interest in it. And so now there's a money grab available. It's like, ooh, let's all jump into the spirituality because there's money to be made here now. So you just be aware of that it's going to increase. Mainstream popularity of spirituality equals more bullshit that you're going to have to wade through. And so I'm here to cut through the bullshit and tell you what's true and what's not true. And if it's not changing your life and you're not better for it, then you don't need to look anywhere else. The evidence has been shown to you. It's already bullshit. It's already fake. It's not, if it's not empowering you, not changing your life, not getting you, making you better or making your life better, then the question you need to be asking yourself is, what the fuck am I doing with this? Why am I playing with this? Right? Now, if your answer to that is, well, but Eddie, I'm just interested in it. It's just a hobby. Okay. That's fine. It doesn't have to be, you're allowed to, your hobby, just like people have video games and people have all kinds of things that they do that aren't necessarily benefiting them, helping them grow, going out, having drinks, having beers, watching football or whatever you do. Like, not everything has to be, for a serious personal transformation thing. It can just be a hobby. It can just be, I just like spirituality. It's just fun. It's what I do. It's just my thing, my interest, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be that for you. And you're one of those people, cool. Do all the things. Get all the tattoos, get all the crystals, get all the tarot cards, do all the astrologies. Like, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to judge that either. But I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to those of you who really bought into the idea that you thought some of these spiritual things that you were getting into were actually going to do something beneficial for you, and they haven't. And so but you keep going, you keep clinging to it. You keep wanting to go back to these things, hoping that, well, maybe if I do it this time, well, maybe if I study harder, maybe if I just learn more, maybe I read more books, maybe if I just, spin my wheels inside the fake spiritual marketplace, somehow I'm going to find the magic pill answer that's going to actually bring me my fulfillment, when the only magic pill solution to any of this is inside of you. You are the answer. Because the divine is inside of you. The divine is one with you. You are the magic pill. I could probably just end the reading right here and just be like, okay, that's it. That's the reading. You are the magic pill. You want your life to be different, 2025. You want your fulfillment. You want your happiness. You're the answer. The divine within you. Connect to the divine within you. You're the magic pill. Boom. That's it. That's the answer. And essentially, that is kind of the answer, right? Obviously, that's not where we're going to leave the reading, though. But that is essentially the answer. All right. So this is a brand new deck that I just got. So I actually have an excuse to use it now. All right, so these two cards came out. Yeah, you can't make this up. Was I literally not just talking about the miracles? The miracles in Jesus's hand. I even said over here, I gave the metaphor, and look what just came out. You cannot make this up. So this just literally proves to you guys and to myself that I am just here to be the messenger. You can't make this shit up. Like, I'm just, and this isn't, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but it's just confirmation from the divine that the messages that are coming through me right now are not just me spewing bullshit. This is the divine speaking to somebody. Hopefully many. It's definitely speaking to me, because even though, again, I'm the messenger and I say things in a certain way, it could come across as like, well, who does he think he is? Is he Mr. Almighty and he's Mr. Holier than I'm not? No. I'm just as guilty. Everything that I've said, I'm just as guilty. I've done the fuck ups. I've done the failures. I've sat and stared at the gold spray, the spray painted gold pile of shit, and like, oh, this is shit. And you get all involved in it. It's all gross, and you're like, this is sick. This is shit. And you're like, huh, okay. And you just do some more, and it's finally you're just like, what am I doing? Why am I swimming in shit? Why am I settling for shit? That's me, guys. I've done it too. So I'm just here to say, I'm not here. There's no judgment from me. I'm just the messenger, but I'm just as guilty, and I'm just as much here to be the student of life. I'm here to learn just alongside you guys. So the next card is we have opening. So yeah, the divine is hoping that, and this is tied to the change in the wind energy. There is an opening now. There's an opening, and an opening is an opportunity. So anytime you hear this, and we have leadership at the bottom of the deck. Really cool card, man. That is a really cool picture. I like that. All the artwork on both of these are actually really nice. I have, just literally brand new. So some of these, I haven't really sat and looked at the cards. I mean, I took them out and kind of looked through it a little bit, but I haven't actually interacted with them yet. So really cool lighthouse there. And I'm going to pull one or two more from this, because I can feel that there's one or two more cards in here that want to come out. But this is really cool. And one of the things that I'm seeing here with this, I'm going to go back to this opening here in just a second, but this beacon of hope here. So I'm just kind of like the divine is almost kind of, interrupting me while it's interrupting itself, basically to say some of you guys have been waiting for a moment of hope, a beacon of light, a beacon of hope, a light at the end of the tunnel. And the divine is saying, this is it. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. This is your beacon of hope. But you've been looking for it outside of yourself. You've been trying to find your light, your hope, your future. You've been trying to find the silver lining outside of yourself. And the divine is saying, the light, the beacon, the lighthouse is inside of you. The lighthouse is inside of you. That's why it's so dark out here, because you're looking out here into the darkness. You turn to look inside, you'll see the light. Come inside, inner light. This is your inner light calling you, trying to shine its light to get your attention to say, hey, the light is in here, my friend. Or the divine is saying, in other words, it's me. I'm in here. I am the thing that you're looking for, that you thought was out here. The thing out here that you thought was shiny, this was the fake light. You thought this was the light. The light isn't in the thing out there that you thought. The fulfillment, the hope, the way, the truth, the life was not in the pile of shit. Just because it was gold and just because it was shiny, just because it could reflect light doesn't mean that it was the light. That's not the light. The true light is inside of you. The thing that you've been searching for can only be found in here inside of you, and it's called the divine. You have to answer the call. And so this is a message of hope for those of you who are saying, I want that. I want to answer the call. That's me. I know that this reading, I know if you've listened to it this far, and I know it's long and it's been over an hour now. If you've listened to this reading this far and you're like, this is me, I know. This is the divine giving you that reassurance. This is the divine saying, okay, you wanted the message, you wanted a sign, you wanted a synchronicity. Well, here it is. I'm your sign. This message is your sign. This card is your sign. This is the divine saying, you asked, you prayed, you called out, you were desperate. Here I am. I'm answering. And the answer is, come meet me in here. Come in here and meet me in here. I'm not out there. I'm not in those things. I'm not in that toxic relationship. I'm not in that empty job. I'm not in money. I'm not in status. I'm not in the fake act of you trying to become something that you're not so that you can feel good enough and worthy that you think that you're going to find me in something which is love, because that's what the divine is. You're looking for love. You want to feel good enough so that you can feel love. And so you become someone that you don't like. You become something you don't recognize, all to do this fake little dance, to wear your own mask, to masquerade out here, thinking that, well, maybe somebody will love me if I just become what they want. And then you've realized that was a false pile of shit as well. The divine's like, stop trying to be something that you're not, because to get love, it's not required. To get love, all you have to do is become who you are, and who you are is already inside of you, because it's me, and I am you. So come in here and be with me. And when you come in here and you find me, you'll find you. And then us together will go out and create these miracles. So the opening. What is an opening? Some of you guys have heard about portals. You want to hear about that? That word portal? The 1111 portal, the Lionsgate portal, and this portal, and that portal. There's some portal for this. There's a portal for everything. Well, it's not that there's not to a degree, to some degree, there is an element of truth to these concepts within mainstream spirituality. Because if there wasn't any truth to it, people would know that it's complete bullshit. Then it wouldn't be marketable. There has to be something true in order for you to be able to follow it and go, okay, well, so there is something to this in order for it to be, marketable, in order for it to make money. So there is truth to the fact that, yes, there are certain types of portals and energetic portals, right? But to, get out again of the hairy, fairy, hocus pocus bullshit of mainstream spirituality that's only giving you a fraction of what's really the truth. Let's talk about what's really the truth. All a portal is an energetic opportunity for you to change your frequency. All a portal is an energetic opportunity for you to change your vibrational frequency. What am I talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. And I did not know, because there's no way There's no way in hell I could have prepared for this because I did not know that these cards were coming out. I did not know I was going to be talking about portals. It just so happened to be that I have a slide that was saved on my computer that I was saving because I've been working on something else that I'm going to be sharing in one of my upcoming live tarot readings. It just so happened to be that I created a slide to explain something I'm going to be teaching on one of my upcoming live readings that's relevant to what we're talking about now, these portals. So, I guess I'm just lucky. So I'm going to switch over to this slide. And what you are looking at here is a scale of frequencies. The bottom is the lowest vibrational frequency. And it's related to the energy of shame. And as you climb up from the lowest vibrational frequency, a little bit up, so shame is like the worst, the lowest possible. And as you can see over here, it says low frequency. Up here, it says higher frequency. Here, it says destructive. And this one says expansive. Now, right here in the middle at 250, it's neutrality. So this is just when you're neutral. You're not great and you're not terrible. You're just mediocre, mundane, neutral energy. So, but again, starting at the bottom, the lowest vibrational frequency here is shame. And then up from that, you go guilt. And then a little bit up, you go to apathy. A little bit up, you go from grief. A little up from fear. And then desire, anger, pride, courage. Right? So, obviously, if we're at neutral, we'd be descending down. So, as we move out of courage into pride can turn into anger, and then anger can turn into desire. Desire can turn into fear. Fear can turn into grief. Grief can turn into apathy, which is essentially the same thing as numbness. And then numbness can turn into guilt, and guilt can turn into shame. And then it's like basically you're just spiraling worse and worse from there. And then everything above neutrality, we move into willingness. And that's what this was. This change in the wind card is the willingness energy I was talking about. For those of you that are willing to walk away from, I'm pointing at things you can't see, but that willingness energy is this change in the wind card, and that's everything I've been saying in the reading about a willingness to walk away from the shit that's been painted gold. It's just you just need to move up a little bit out of that stagnant place to be willing to move away from this thing that's not serving you anymore, so that you can enjoy the change that the universe wants to bring you. So from willingness, we move up into acceptance into passion into love, from love into joy, from joy into peace, and then from peace into enlightenment, and then beyond. So all a portal is a moment where we have an opportunity to change our frequency. A frequency from either being down here in the destructive scale of vibration and emotions, or up here in the expansive, higher vibrational scale. That's all a portal is. It's just an energetic opportunity for you to change your vibrational frequency. And so, yes, technically, there's portals, available very often, a lot of times. So you can create one. We have the free will to create these expansive opportunities, or these portals, so to speak. Or, there's, obviously moments when the external energy or the external environment is conducive or favorable for, assisting us in creating those. That's essentially the difference between exoteric and esoteric. Exoteric means the outer, esoteric means the inner. So, for example, when they talk about the 1111 portal or the 1010 portal, the Lionsgate portal, or they talk about, eclipses in astrology, or they talk about the transits of the certain planets doing this, or Mercury retrograde. For example, that's a very common one. Everybody's heard of Mercury retrograde. All Mercury retrograde is an exoteric and outer energetic shift, which is, again, just a portal. It's just a portal of energy that is influencing us. And because it influences us, it means that, we might be in one of these energies, somewhere on this scale. It's either going to influence us to go down, or that Mercury retrograde portal energy is going to influence us to go up the scale. That's all a portal is. So, when you hear people going on about portal this and portal that and portals, and just know, now you know what it is and what it's not, and that's important, because the reason that this card is here is because the divine wants you to know that there are moments in your development, your personal growth and your personal development, when you have an opportunity, a window, an opening for change. And you either take the opportunity, or it passes you by. That's how it is, right? It's like if you needed a job and you found the perfect fit for you, like, oh my God, this would be a dream job, and they're hiring, and you see it on their website. It's like, we're looking right now, and you're like, oh my God, this is my dream job. But then you put it off, and you wait, and you let 3 weeks go by, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to do it. And you go back, and it's like, nope, job's gone. The moment was then. The moment is here. The moment is now. You should have grabbed hold of the thing, but you waited. You delayed. Now you lost the opportunity. The divine is saying, in 2025, the opening is now. The 9-year universal energy, the opening, the portal is now. The portal of your change is now. Do not miss this opportunity. You do not have to stay in the shit. You can jump through the opening if you want, but you don't have to. And if you don't, you're going to miss the miracles. And again, that's a choice. But then you have to wait again. You have to wait again till the bus comes around. Or you just have to work that much harder to chop wood to create that same opening for yourself. And what I can tell you is all change in life, when it comes to human beings, all major change is usually a result of one of two things: inspiration or desperation. Right? And just one last time, if we go back to here, here's inspiration, high vibrational frequencies. All this energy up here is inspirational. All this up here is inspirational. Down here, desperation. You're going to be in one or the other. All change, either through the death card, desperation, basically being forced to change, or inspiration, right? That's what this card is. Inspiration, the wand energy, Ace of Wands. Like, I'm inspired, I'm motivated. I don't need my life to fall apart and fall to shit. I'm motivated now. But pain can be a great motivator. It's like, well, if you weren't motivated, if you're not motivated now and you're apathetic, then after enough pain, you'll eventually reach your threshold. Everybody has a threshold. Everybody has a threshold of how much you can take before you can't take anymore. And when you hit that threshold, you reach desperation, and desperation will move you. It'll force you into some type of change. And in what direction you move, you could fall even further off the cart, or off the horse, or whatever the term is, and you could spiral even worse. Or the universe will push you and move you, and you'll decide, nope, I'm not gonna take this shit anymore. I'm gonna turn this boat around. I'm gonna turn my life around, and I'm gonna make a change for the better. All right. So what do my folks need to know? What else do we need to know? I felt there was at least one or two more cards in this deck that wanted to come out. All right. Surrender. Yeah. Surrender is here. And the energy off this card is very clear. Some of you are control freaks. Some of you are absolute control freaks. And the reason that your life is the shit show that it is because even in the destruction of the chaos of everything that's happened for you, you still want to control everything. Even in your destruction, even when you're at rock bottom, you still have this control freak thing where you feel like if you're not in control of everything and everyone and all this, it's certainty, 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 security. You're so focused on your need for certainty. If you want to know what that is, in my playlist, look for the video. Just go back to my channel, click on my videos, and you'll see a video called The 6 Human Needs Presentation. I talk all about this from a psychological human behavior standpoint. Like an hour, maybe probably a little more than that, presentation where I go super in depth into this. People who are so focused on certainty, it's actually, I call it certainty sickness. People who have certainty sickness, your need to control everything in your life because you're so fucking scared is what's causing your life to blow up. And surrender doesn't mean tolerate anything. Surrender doesn't mean not have boundaries. Surrender doesn't mean weak, pathetic, I'm giving up, woe is me. Surrender doesn't mean any of that. If you want to know what surrender really means, I have a video for that as well. Some of you guys come to my channel and it's like, well, why do he have so many videos of him just talking and taking clips of his live tarot? Why doesn't he just do readings like all the other tarot readers do? This is why. Because when I do actually do readings, or if I say something, you come to a live tarot reading, and you want to know what something means, I don't have to re-explain it. I can just go back and point you to a video where I've already explained it. That's the beauty of it. So I can teach you something. You can go back and you can listen. It's like, oh, that's what surrender means. Yeah. Go back and watch the video where I said, this is what true surrender is. And it's not waving the white flag. It's not giving up. It's not being weak. It's not being pathetic. And it doesn't mean, just letting whatever happen to you. It certainly doesn't mean being, lazy or any of that stuff. Surrender means not living your life just from your fucking ego. Not living your life from fear and self-preservation. That's what the ego is. The ego is edging God out, meaning we can't trust the divine because the divine is too risky. The divine wants us to take risks. The divine wants us to be courageous. The divine wants us to take leaps of faith. The divine wants us to believe that the miracle happens in our hands, as the tarot reader Eddie Gilman says. The ego is, that's a bunch of hogwash horse shit. It's this. All that stuff that he's saying is shit, spray painted gold, and we don't buy it and we don't believe it. That's the ego. Ego's like, you need to listen to me. I'm the only thing that's going to keep your ass fucking safe. You need to listen to me. Not this spiritual woo-woo bullshit stuff that's going to, there's no proof and this, that. Your ego is the problem. Because all your ego is like, yeah, you might be miserable, but hey, at least you're in control. Your life might suck, but at least I'm keeping you safe. At least I'm keeping you alive. It's like, well, great. You can be alive and you can be miserable. Good for you. Great job, ego. Thanks for your service, ego. Great. I'm a miserable fucking wretch and have a miserable fucking existence because I trust and listen to you only. Now, the beauty of the divine, just like in the strength card, the divine actually, when we come in and we answer the call, the divine will actually tame and reprogram our ego. And it'll teach our ego that, oh, wait, the divine isn't so bad. Actually, I can be courageous. Actually, I can take a leap of faith. Actually, the miracle does happen in my hand, and it's actually not bullshit. When you've spent enough time with the divine inside of you, the ego will surrender to the divine, and now the divine and your ego will become one as well. It's the strength card. Let me show you just really quick. And then I'm going to grab this other deck. And we're getting close to the end of this. Hopefully this reading is beneficial for somebody. Here's the strength card. Here's literally the divine. There's the woman, the figure of the divine. That's why the infinity symbol is over her head. The infinity symbol is over her head, meaning that she is the divine. And what is she doing? She's calmly petting the lion, and she's gently closing his mouth. And look what's behind her. There's this even larger looking beast, lion, animal creature It seems like it's either sneaking up on her, it's roaring at her, or it wants to bite her, and she's not even concerned. That's the ego. The ego is screaming at the divine, you can't do that. And the divine's like, no, I got you. And this is the divine taming your ego. That's literally what that is. If we allow it. So surrender is allowing the divine to tame and reprogram your ego so you're not living in self-preservation, in fear, and self-destruction all the time. Because people do stupid shit when they're in self-preservation. There's a reason self-preservation is called fight, flight, or freeze. And it's why it's an autonomous, whatever, however you pronounce that word, response. Meaning it's automatic. You don't choose when you're in self-preservation. Some people, they get aggressive and angry, they want to fight and they want to kill. Because that's them trying to protect themselves. And it's reactionary. They're not being logical. Some people, it's freeze. They just go into paralysis. They don't do anything. Some people run for their fucking lives until they feel safe. They run from everything. That's self-preservation. So how are you possibly going to get where you want to go in your life? How are you possibly going to overcome your miserable existence if you're either fighting everything that comes your way, or you're frozen doing nothing in paralysis, so no action's being taken, or you're fucking running all the time. You're running from it. The minute something says, well, I'm gone, running away from that opportunity, running away from that person, running away from this, running away from that. You can't. There's no way you can progress forward in your life if you're attacking everything and battling everything that comes your way, because everything coming at you is a perceived threat. Everything. Your blessings are a perceived threat. Your happiness is a perceived threat. Fulfillment is a perceived threat. Everything's a perceived threat. Or you're just basically cathartic. You're just a vegetable. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to lay here and watch just like a rock, just watching life go by you, your opportunities, your happiness, fulfillment. It's all just going by me. You know, I'm just going to lay here until I die and miss out on everything in life. Or you're running. The minute something shows up, oh shit, run. Oh, it's going to hurt me. That blessing's going to hurt me. My fulfillment's going to hurt me. Oh, it's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me. So you run from everything. You can't have your fulfillment if you're in self-preservation. That's the ego. Surrender takes you out of your ego so that you can tap into the energy, the transformative energy, the opening, the portal, so that you can experience your miracles. All right, now let's take a look at this deck. This also is a brand new deck that I just got. Expansion. Really cool looking card. This deck is actually very pretty. It's got the nice... Some of you's like, all right, man. Oh, all right. Yeah. Expansion. What were we literally just talking about on the slide? You cannot make this shit up. Let me go back to the slide. I'm glad this worked out for me this way. It says right here, expansive. Right here on the side. I know it's really hard for you to see, but right here, this word says expansive. What's expansive? This higher vibrational frequency. So what is the divine potentially saying? Is that if you want to experience change and growth in your life, whether you're answering the call or whether you choose to stay stuck, well, obviously if you're choosing to stay stuck, nothing's going to change. But for those of you that are going to answer the call whether you're stuck or whether you're answering the call from a empowered position, a powerful person position, expansion is the pathway forward. It's learning how to manage our conscious awareness, which just means how to become a master of our free will, because it is our free will that determines what we focus on, and that's all conscious awareness is. It's what we choose to become aware of. See, people think free will is just a choice, the ability to just choose and do whatever you want. Well, yeah, that's one of the shards of truth of spirituality, that they'll say free will, you can do whatever you want. That's not all free will is. In fact, that's just that's just the tip of the iceberg of free will. True free will is the ability to choose whatever you are consciously aware of. Let me give you an example. If I were to ask you right now to look around your room, look for everything that's green. Like literally right now, do it. I know you're watching a video, but just for 5 seconds, look everywhere around your room. Look around. What's green? What's green? What's green? What's green? Okay, well, this card, there's some green there. This is green. Anything that's green. Look all around. You can't see it, but there's a little light down here on this little box. This little flickering green light that's attached to my microphone. That's green. What else around me is green? Oh, here we go. I have some peanut butter here. There's some green on the peanut butter there. There's some green here on the strength card. The lady, she's got the green grass up there. There's some green down here. Where do you see green? Look everywhere around you for green. All right. Now, what did you see that was red? What did you see that was red? You're like, I didn't see red. Well, why didn't you see red? Because you weren't looking for it. You were looking for green. Right? That's what I mean by free will. Free will is the choice, the decision to choose what you're consciously aware of. When you're consciously aware that you're looking for green, and green could represent anything. Green could be that toxic shit in your past, obsessed with that toxic relationship, that toxic thing, all the toxic shit there. You're looking for green. Well, green is where? Or we could say we're looking for shit. We're looking for spray painted gold shit. Well, there it is. Are you focused on that? Is that where you're choosing to use your free will? Are you focused on, what your pain? You focused on your suffering. You focused on your powerlessness. In fact, what did we say at the very beginning? What did I say earlier in this reading? I'll go back to this slide. I said, are you being a powerful person? Our focus. What are you focused on? What you can control, what you can't control. Are you looking inward? Are you focused on your inward? Are you focused on the outward? Where are you focused when you're trying to get these things that you want and you desire out of life? Are you focused out here? Or are you focused inside yourself on how you can tap into your magician power? That's why the magician card is here. You, meaning you and the divine. Again, anytime you see the infinity symbol in tarot, that's the divine. That's the divine power being one with you. When you partner with the divine and you use all of your resources that the divine has given you, then you create your reality. This is you as the magician here. So all of that is part of this expansion card. Part of your free will. You get to choose, using your conscious awareness, what it is that you're focused on. And where focus goes, energy follows. Energy follows. What are you fueling with the energy of your life? Are you fueling bullshit? Are you fueling this? Or are you fueling destiny? Are you fueling despair or destiny? I'm fueling despair or I'm fueling my destiny. Which one are you fueling? Well, the expansion goes both ways. There's two energies here. You can expand into darkness and you can expand into bullshit, or you can expand into miracles. You can expand into more consciousness, right? Conscious awareness is essentially the ability to use your free will to become aware of many things. Not just green, not just red. You can become aware of green, red, blue, orange, purple, all of it. It's unending. The more consciously aware we become, and I talked about this in the first video, the part 1 video of this, it's like, this is the matrix, narrow view. We can only see what we've been taught to see and taught to think. That's the matrix. As you begin to go through a spiritual awakening, the lens becomes a little bit wider, and then wider, and then wider, and then wider, and wider, and then all of a sudden, you can see the full picture of your life. You can see the full picture of your path. You can see the full picture of your mission, your destiny, your purpose, your gifts, your talents, why you're here, the why and what for of your life, and all that is there for you. The whole thing becomes broad and expansive and beautiful. And you start to realize, man, there's all kinds of portals and openings for me to create miracles. And all I had to do was surrender to becoming one with the divine inside of me. Answer is yes. I would love if the divine sent me another card. Threw another card out here. Throw another card to back me up so I can say, look, I can't make this shit up. Shamanic journey and transcendence. Okay. And then threshold. Like, I was half-heartedly kidding when I said Give me a card to back me up. Was I literally not just talking about everybody reaches a threshold where they can't take pain anymore? I don't know what it was, maybe 15 minutes ago in the reading, but I said it. I was talking about people touching the hot stove and pain and inspiration versus desperation. I was talking about all that thing, and I said everybody has a threshold. Right? Now I understand that what this card is saying, it's like the threshold, you've reached the threshold, like you've reached the doorway, the entry point. The threshold is the thing that separates, at the bottom of a door. I understand that's what it's saying, but it's still interesting that the card, that the word threshold is here, right? And that's what that energy is attached to, by the way. It's the threshold, right? We all reach a breaking point where we can't take any more. And so eventually the divine pushes us out of whatever place we're in. And that's when I said, we have a choice. Once the divine pushes us off the cliff, one of two things happens. We either fall towards, I'm either, it's like sink or swim, right? It's like, well, I'm going to swim and I'm going to go towards I'm going to go up and I'm going to swim towards, change and a better life, or I'm going to sink. And it's going to get even darker than it was before the divine pushed me into the deep end. That's what this threshold energy is here. It's literally everything I just said. I just can't believe that I literally was joking about it. And the divine's like, okay, you want it? Here's a card to back you up. You can't make this shit up, man. This is like the humor of the magic of living the spiritual life. I mean, you literally can't make this shit up sometimes. So the shamanic journey, again, this is a brand new deck, so I don't, obviously I don't know the cards. Some of them, again, I just read. I don't need to, and I don't always buy oracle cards for the book meanings. I buy them for the art, or even maybe just different words, or sometimes you just feel called to purchase certain decks. So obviously the transcendence here is obviously the phoenix, but it's also the word of transcendence. And to transcend means to ascend. You're moving up through those levels of consciousness. You're going up through those expansive energies that we looked at a second ago, right? We're just going up this. This is transcendence, where you're starting to, let's say you're down here, and let's say your life is a complete shit show disaster right now. Well, the transcendence energy is about you reaching your threshold, reaching your breaking point, and the divine's like, hey, let me be the phoenix inside of you that rises you from your own ashes. That's the transcendence energy, is you using your focus, your free will, your expansive energy, what you focus on going within to connect to the divine, and let the divine transform you into the phoenix so that you can rise from your ashes. That's what transformation is. Transcendence and transformation are one and the same energy with this card. Now, card 21. Is the art of listening is revelatory. And so essentially, let me just take a glance at what they're talking about. You may notice a sense of sobriety in your attitude about the current situation or the object of your query. Indeed, this is no mistake. You must take responsibility for all your contributions to the conditions you find yourself in. This responsibility is not for the purpose of blame, because what would that do? If we go into blame, that's going to take us down here into guilt and shame and these low vibrational energies. So it's not about blame, but to help you realize where your power lies, can't make that up, within the circumstances. In every situation, there are aspects not within your control and others for whom you command authority. Or essentially, there are things you can control and things you can't control. You must know which is which and act accordingly. Right. So there are certain situations when your life blows up and you're like, well, I can't control this. And that's true. You can't control it. But what you can control is who you become as a result of what you're going through. And so that brings us all the way back to answering the call. The call is, hey, you can't control what's happening out here, and you're not meant to. You're meant to surrender the control. We talked all about that. Surrender the control, surrender the ego, having to figure out what to do as a result of what you've gone through, and go within and connect to the divine, and let the divine lead you and show you the way as it transforms you into the new best you that you're meant to become, so you can go out into your life and you can start living the life of your destiny and your fulfillment. All right. Now, I wanted to close this. I got these, I got 2 more new decks that I'm going to use here. This first one is about, for those of you that are curious about your money, career, work, and all of that. So that's what I'm about to pull on right now and get all these out of the box. Now, this is brand new. I've never used this before, so this will be the first time of me using these cards. Give it a shuffle here. All right. Now, for those of you who are wanting to know about money, finances, career, your purpose in life, all of that kind of stuff, I feel like there's probably 3 or 4 cards that want to come out in addition to that one. So 3 or 4 more cards. There's 1. There's 2. All right, yeah, I knew it was at least 3 or 4 more. So there we go. And finally, after being Arctic in my room, we're having a snowmageddon here in the state of Georgia today. I'm going to take this off. So while I take this off, from left to right here, the first card is we have discovery. This one's empowerment. This one's entitlement, diplomat, and host. And I'm going to read to you all what they say. All right, so the discovery card says, there is still an essential piece of your puzzle that you have yet to discover. A missing piece of information must fall into place before you will know your next step. I wonder what that might be. Well, probably has nothing to do with going inside of yourself to connect with the divine to get the answers that we've been talking about this whole reading. Now, I did notice that this card was, this debt card was over here as well. So technically, there's one more here. I'll go ahead and read it since I'm holding it. It says debt. Are you in the driver's seat with your debt, or has your debt taken over and placed you in shackles? Right? So some of you, maybe you've gotten yourself into a shitload of debt, or debt's just kind of like the big burden on your life. And you're like, how do I get out of it? Well, you get out of it just like how you're going to do anything moving forward. There's the spiritual journey and there's the not spiritual journey, period. End of story. And if you want to go the not spiritual journey, then go out into the matrix, into the world, and just research, do whatever you got to do to find out how to get, free of your debt. And I'm not saying that a spiritual person may not do something similar. But what I am saying, if you don't know the right path to take, in other words, you're lacking a guidance that would lead you towards something that's in your highest good. And so you have a fear about what to do about the thing that's already creating all this fear in your life. So you're already, again, probably feeling overwhelmed and paralyzed by something. And when something doesn't feel good, we have a tendency to ignore it. So debt piles and piles and piles. And then we just want to ignore it, because to go and face it puts us into a state of panic, a state of shock, a state of despair, a state of, oh my God, there's so much debt, I'll never get out of it. So I just can't even look at it. I don't want to acknowledge it, right? Where the divine will give you the strength and courage to look at it. The divine will give you the knowledge, the know-how, the skills, the resources, the people, the opportunities, the places to go, the people to assist you, the miracles, the possibility. You never know what's going to happen when you partner the divine. That's literally the point of the miracles is again, the extreme of miracles from 1 to 10 could be anything. It could be just like, oh man, I feel so blessed. It's like a miracle that I found this book, taught me how to get out of debt. I found this program. I bumped into somebody and we started talking about debt, and they told me what they did to get out of debt. And I think that's a very good, a way for me to get out of debt. Like it could be something small like that. It could be something large. It could be, out of nowhere, suddenly you get some type of unexpected income. You get some type of, fortune or somebody leaves money, somebody passes on or something, and you find out that they left you money or something, or who knows what. You get some unexpected refund, or you overpaid something, or who knows, you get debt. Your just debt is randomly forgiven. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe all this debt was just forgiven. Like it's a miracle. That's what happens when you partner with the divine. You think that I'm bullshitting you, but it happens all the time. So, again, what are you focused on? If you're focused on the problem, you're going to get more problems. If you're focused on the debt, you're going to get more debt. When you're focused on the divine, you get miracles. So, do you want to surrender? Or do you not want to surrender? You can surrender your ego to the will of the divine, or you can surrender the divine to the suppression and the dominance of the ego. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. And whatever decision you choose will dictate the quality and experience and the fulfillment of life that you create and exist in, or continue to exist in. So I'm kind of going backwards now. I started here and I don't know why, but I just reached the next card and it says host. Excuse me. Thought I was about to cough. Whether your space is physical or digital, you could find a lot of fulfillment in being a host. So it's just saying, hey, for some of you, perhaps, look into hosting something. I don't know what that will mean, but you'll know if it resonates for you, or maybe it's a confirmation for some of you. Some of you have been thinking about doing something, hosting something. That's your confirmation message. Diplomat. With your uncanny ability to form connections in human relationships, you serve as a bridge between worlds. So yeah, some of you guys would make great leaders, great connectors, great therapists, anything having to do with networking, working with people, connecting people, networking, or working in industries where, that would be beneficial for you. We have entitlement. Why do you believe that you deserve benefits and privileges that you haven't earned or worked for? Now, do not shoot. You can't shoot me for saying that, but somebody just got called out here. Somebody just got called out here. You think you deserve something and you haven't put in the work, you haven't done the work, and you feel like I deserve this just because why? Just because you deserve it? I'm not seeing it. You guys can get pissed off at the divine for that. All right. Next, are you ready to fully step into your power and accept the responsibility that comes with it? That's what it's saying. Are you ready to be a powerful person and enjoy the blessings and the miracle and everything that comes with doing it? Yes, it requires action. Yes, it's going to require you to step up and be involved in the process of creating the life that you want. But it's a hell of a lot easier doing it with the divine at your side than doing it just driven by your ego. But there's the empowerment. Discovery. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Now, that's the money. Now, this other one is about love and romance. So if you have been, maybe the pain that you've been experiencing, maybe the hurdles, obstacles, and challenges you've been going through in your life have had to do with love and relationships, that's what this will be about. So these cards will be all about love, relationships, all that kind of stuff. So let me get these out of the way. All right. And we'll just do an even number. We'll do 6 of these as well. Empire. We are going to build something incredible together. So yeah, some of you guys are going to meet your divine counterpart, whether it's a soulmate, whether it's a twin flame or whatever, but you and your person, whether you're with them now or whether you meet them, you're meant to create something together. Now, for those of you who have been dealing with the whole twin flame thing, the whole twin flame concept, go back to my playlist, go back to my videos. And I literally just made a video like a day or two ago. I did a twin flame reading for you. So that speaks to you, that resonates with you. Go watch that video. You might find some information there for you. And it's an update. Where are you at? Where are you at right now with that specific person? Okay, trauma. Now this card came out kind of in reverse. Not that this deck is really reversals, but I'm working through my trauma so I can be whole for you. But it came out in reverse. So I'm just going to say some of you 50-50. Some of you are holding on to people that are part of the big pile of shit that we talked about, and they're not doing the work, and they're not going to do the work. At least right now, they're not doing the work. They're not healing their trauma. Others of you, this person, they may do the work. So with that card coming out in reverse, it's 50-50. And so, my suggestion to you in that regard is obviously to make, believe what people do, not what people say. Someone can come and bullshit you all day long and tell you this and tell you that and tell you this and tell you that. And even maybe at first, or just right up front, the front end of things, they'll try to do just enough in the beginning to make you think that that's who they are for the long term. So, just to find out that 60 days in, usually, between the first and the second month, you start to see this person is nothing like they presented to me. So just be aware of that. Be aware that some of you out there, you could be still clinging to that pile of shit back there that you think, oh man, but they'll change. They'll change. They're gonna turn around, and 50-50 shot. Got to keep it real. Culture. There are cultural norms and expectations that I need to overcome before we can really be happy together. So yeah, some people are just stuck in the matrix. Some people are having a really hard time getting out of the matrix. Some people have a really hard time releasing their old beliefs, their way of living, their religion, their status, all that kind of stuff. And this card is obviously connected to this trauma card, right? If it's not empowering, then it's disempowering. All right, we got two that came out. Now, we have online. I'll meet you online when we're ready. So some of you, if you haven't been thinking about putting yourself out there, or, you poo-poo all over online dating, well, the universe is saying, hey, your person might be online. So if you're not privy to online dating, then maybe you should be. Because this is saying, hey, I'm online looking for you, but if you're not online looking for me, then we may not meet. Now, the next card says intuition. Trust your intuition, for it knows the way to me. When you listen closely, love's whisper becomes clear. Now, this is for those of you that I really strongly feel are in separation with your twin flame, or you're in separation with a divine counterpart, somebody who's very, very important. And maybe just maybe, in this specific situation, you have been in separation. You needed to be in separation, and the separation is intentional. And, they are actually changing, and things are happening in their life. Again, go watch the twin flame reading that I did on my video. I think it's titled, it's just a few days old, but it's titled, I think it's called The Year of the Twin Flames is the name of the title. Go watch that. All right, one more, and then we're going to close the reading here because it's been almost 2 hours. Can't believe I did a 2-hour reading. I could have done a part 3. I knew this was going to be big because this reading essentially sets the entire tone of at least the first half of the year. So between now and June or July, this energy, this reading is going to be very important, and I'm going to keep referring back to it. So between now and June or July, I'm like, hey, y'all need to go back and watch the reading that I did all the way back in January, because it's still relevant. It's still relevant. All right, comfortable. I don't know why I put the card down. Are you really ready to give up your old ways to be with me? Now, there's 2 energies to this. The first energy is, again, some of you guys need to just let people from your past come back and give you cheap words. They need to prove to you that they've changed. That's for half of you. Now, the other half of you are those of you out there that are watching this, and, you've, like I said earlier in the video, sometimes we're the saint and sometimes we're the villain. You've been in the devil villain season of your life. Maybe you've not been the best person. Maybe you've not behaved the best way. I'm not here to judge. We've all been there. Every single one of us. He or she who has no sin cast the first fucking stone. I've gone through a villain season in my life. Everybody goes through a villain season, right? We're a saint to somebody and we're a villain to somebody else. It's all perspective. So I'm not here to judge, but I am here to be honest. And if you are in your villain season and you're doing shitty things that are harming yourself and harming others, then, and you're thinking about somebody that maybe you want to reconnect with because you realize that they were a beacon of light for you. I had that beacon card out here earlier. Maybe they're that thing where you realize, man, this might have been the one that got away. You're thinking about your divine counterpart, your twin flame, whatever. Well, if you haven't changed, you need to really think about that before you go back and seek this person out. You need to check yourself before the universe wrecks you. Because I will tell you this, the people, and this goes for all of you, when you answer the call and you partner with the divine, one of the things that you get is called divine protection and divine security. You get a divine insurance plan because the divine don't fuck around. You have a protection now. When you step into your call, then you've also invited the divine to participate in every area of your life, including protection. And having divine protection is a wonderful, wonderful thing because everything comes to light, and the people who wrong you, Lady Justice, in the tarot, Lady Justice shows up. Lady Justice is all about dishing out the karma. And that's not me saying to be vengeful, to be malicious, to not wish karma on people, because if you wish karma on somebody, then you're just going to get it back on you because that's anger, that's vengeance, that's revenge. What does the book say? Revenge is God. Revenge is mine, saith the Lord. And essentially, that's just an old ancient way of saying that it's up to the divine to determine what is good to judge and what is wrong to judge. That's what Lady Justice is. And so we don't have to, the divine knows exactly what to do to the people who do us wrong, and they will get theirs. You don't have to wish it upon them. It will happen, I promise. It may not happen when you want it. It may not happen how you want it. It may not happen to the extent that you want it. But that's not your role anyways, because if you're truly a fully awakened spiritual being, then what you're focused on is unconditional love anyway. You would actually be praying for that person. You'd be sending that person love. You'd be like, hey, I hope that person changes. I don't want them, even if they do deserve it, I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want them to suffer. That's why they became the bad person that they are. That's why they treated me. Hurt people. And if they get more hurt even worse, then they're just going to keep hurting other people. I don't want that. I want them to heal. Right? So your position in that should be, I just want them to heal. Doesn't mean I have to be with them. Doesn't mean I have to want them back in my life. But hey, I just want them to heal from their darkness. That's all. And you leave it to the divine. You leave it up to the divine to dish karma. Your job is not to get involved in who gets the karma and play, backseat driver. Like, yeah, this is what we need to do. Like scheming with the divine. Like, well, the divine's like just going to look over the shoulder and say, hey, if you're really this concerned with being, the karma king or the karma queen, then, maybe I need to give you a little, maybe you need some more so that you understand that, that's not, the divine isn't out punishing people just to be an asshole. The reason for karma is to teach, is to correct, it's to recalibrate, it's to redirect. It's a form of protection, actually. Karma is a form of protection because if people continue going on a destructive path, then it's just going to get more and more destructive and more people are going to get hurt. So the divine has to step in and correct people with karma to redirect them and say, hey, and karma is a form of pushing people to their threshold. The divine knows how, to, to invoke whatever type of punishment is necessary to get someone to rethink their current life direction. And hopefully that person will wake up and be like, man, this sucks. I don't like this. There's got to be a better way. And the divine's like, you're right. There is a better way. Stop hurting people and stop hurting yourself. Stop betraying yourself and betraying other people. Come back to me. Come within. Surrender your ego. Come within and change your life. You should never be wishing karma on anybody, because Lady Justice is watching you too, right? And yes, I've been guilty of this as well. And yes, I've gotten more fucking karma in my life than I ever want again. I don't want any more karma. Like I even look at the stove. I'm like, I go in the other room. Like, nope, there's the stove, going in the other room. I'm not even gonna get close to that thing. Much less start, pretending I'm even gonna get close to touching it. There's a respect. There's a divine respect. The further you go in your journey, there becomes a divine respect that you have with your relationship to karma and the karma that you get for other people. And then it's like you being a parent, and you hate when you have to discipline your child, but you know that if you don't, your child's never going to learn. No matter what your discipline style is, whether you put them in timeout or whether you spank them, whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter. If you're a parent and you love your kid, you never want to fucking punish your kid, but if you don't, you're just disservicing them. Right? I mean, my parents spanked me when I was a kid. I got my ass whipped, like old school style. And as a grown up human being, I turned out all right. And I look back and I'm like, man, I am so glad that my parents disciplined me, kept my ass in line, kept me fucking straight, and I know they didn't want to do it. And sometimes I deserved it and sometimes I didn't, but that's all right. Here I am. I turned out okay. So that's really the essence behind the whole karma thing. It's it's the unconditional love of the divine, course correcting, hurt, negative energy that could just get worse and worse and more destructive. That's all that it is. It's not malicious. It's not to get them. It's not to, get them, God. It's not about that. It's not about creating more hurt just because God is this angry. Get them, zap them. It's not about it. It's nothing to do with that. And so we need to embrace that mindset. We need to have that mindset as we grow spiritually. It's like, hey, if this person gets karma, they get karma. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. The divine, it's up to the divine to decide what happens with that. But I'm just here to learn, forgive, and love. I'm here to learn, forgive, and love. Okay. So with that being said, you all, I hope this reading made sense. I know this was incredibly long. This may be the longest offline reading that I've ever done. Obviously, I've gone really long on my lives, but offline, this is for sure probably the longest reading I've ever done. I knew that I needed to come on though and to do this. And so for those of you who have watched both part 1 and part 2, I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of information and they're very long. I know that there is a message here for somebody. And if I speak to 1 or even 2 or 3 people and it's valuable for you, then it was worth it. Because that's me. I'm just here to answer the call. Okay. And so I think that's all. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned. I will be going live very soon. So come join me for a free live tarot reading, and everything else you need to know, all the other links, all the other things that I mentioned will be in the description of this video. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.